what a beautiful day. Thank you to anyone that's joining or joins in halfway through. We're going to be doing a 45-minute flow this morning, just to try and work through any kinks from the weekend. I will admit this is my first yoga practice that I've done since Friday, so everything hurts, so you might well hear some groans as we go through. Okay, so we'll get started. Any needs for modifications, just drop down to knees. I'll try and explain as we go through. As always, if you've got a more experienced practice and you want to take things further, then absolutely take it that little bit further. We're going to start on the backs today. Oh, there we go, nice click through that left hip. Taking soles of the feet together, knees coming nice and wide, Supta Baddha Konasana. Settle in, left hand over the heart, right hand just over the stomach. Allowing the eyes to close down. Just letting ourselves settle in to the mats here. Settling into that space. Allowing our minds to start to calm that little bit. Try to quiet any monkey minds, any minds that are chattering away in the background about everything that's got to be done, things that haven't been done. Just right now, allow yourself just to find a little bit of peace on your mats. Connecting the body, connecting the mind, connecting with the breath. So we're looking for an inhale through the nose, exhaling out through the nose. Sending that breath down towards the right hand with every inhale. With every exhale, we just allow it to release out. Left hand, feeling the gentle beating of the heart. Taking 2 more breaths where we are here, inhaling, exhaling out, breathing in. As you breathe out, just letting the hands come to the outer edges of the knees, draw the knees in towards each other, and then begin to hug the knees down into the body. Maybe if it feels okay on the back, just give yourself a little gentle rock from side to side. And then we're going to start to rotate through the hips. So start drawing circles with the knees in opposite directions. Be as big or as small as you want to make them. And then go in the opposite direction. One more, and then gently drawing the knees in towards the body. Coming to find happy baby. Now, because this might be one of the first postures, taking hold of the underneath of the thighs, gently drawing the knees towards the armpits. If this feels like it's okay and you want to take it further, bring the hands to the outer edges of the feet, elbows to the inside of the knees. This morning my body does not want to do it, so we're going to stick it here. Have your feet as though they're standing on the ceiling. We're trying to keep the ankles stacked as much as you can over the knees, but keeping that bend. And gently drawing the knees in towards each other, so releasing the feet off. Keep the knees stacked up over the hips, just taking a twist. So bringing the knees over towards the left hand side, right arm out to the side. Just finding that gentle twist through the spine. Using an inhale, letting the knees come up to centre. As you exhale, drop them over towards the right hand side. Left arm out to the side from you. Inhaling, letting the knees come up to centre. Just giving them a squeeze down. We're going to take the right leg, cross it up and over the left. And then if it's available, bind in the right foot around the back of the left calf. If that doesn't feel good, then just keep the inner thighs squeezing towards each other. Placing the hands, interlace the fingers behind the head, tucking the chin down. Keep the head nice and heavy as you breathe in. Just start to draw the lower belly in towards the floor. Lifting the chest up slightly. On an exhale, we're going to extend the legs out. Inhale to draw them back in. Exhaling to extend the legs out. Inhale to draw them back in for 2. Extending the legs out. Back in for 3. We're going 2 more. Extending the legs. Back in for 4. Last time. Taking the legs out, holding it there if that feels okay. Pressing the lower back into the ground for 5. Keep breathing. 4, 3, 2. And bring the legs back in. Let the back of the head drop down. And unravel the legs and then re-ravel them. So the left leg comes up and over right. If it's available, binding the foot around the back of the right calf. Draw those lower bellies down. Rib cage softens. Hands behind the head, lifting the head up slightly. Lower back into the ground. Legs are extending out. And then bringing them back in for 1. Extending the legs. Back in for 2. Just taking the legs as far as you can, taking them out. Back in for 3. 2 more, taking the legs out. Back in for 4. Last time, taking them out, holding there. Lower back into the ground for 5. 4, 3, 2. Bringing the knees back in, releasing the head. Unravel the knees, and again, just hugging them down. Oh. Maybe bringing the forehead towards the knees, rounding through nice and small. We're going to work our way into downward facing dogs from here. So 2 ways, either coming up and over, making your way to downward facing dog. If you want to just lift yourself up and gently work your way to downward facing dog, you can work it there. So maybe if you're taking the more energetic route, I'm going to rock and roll along the length of the spine, crossing the ankles, and then when you're ready, coming all the way up and over, stepping the feet back. And just working to downward facing dogs. Here, if it's available, just start to pedal through the legs. Some of you might want to stay static in your downward facing dogs because that feels better. I just like a little bit of movement just to work through the calves, into the ankles. That's what happens when you've gone for long walks over the weekend. Calves are not happy. And then just allow the heels to start to settle down. So feet hip width apart and parallel. Hands around shoulder width, and then really press into the hands, send the hips high. Have a bend in the knees if you feel like you're back to rounding, otherwise starting to straighten the legs out. If like me, your legs need a little bit more time to warm up, just have that slight bend in them to begin. Just settling in here. Gaze back towards the knees or maybe up towards the navel. Depends on where feels good in the neck. On an exhale, everyone bend the knees, walk the hands back towards the feet. Go into the back of the mat and just taking hold of opposite elbows. And here, maybe just giving yourself a little sway from side to side. Nod the head yes, shake the head no. Taking a big inhale through the nose. Exhale to the side, let it go. And then gently placing the hands back down to the ground, slowly padding back. Find that downward facing dog position. As you next breathe in, start to pad your feet forwards, coming towards the top of the mat. Once you get there, head is nice and heavy, body heavy, and just start to roll up through the spine. One vertebrae comes on top of the next. Just allowing ourselves to stack up. Head is the last part to come up. Rolling through the shoulders at the top. Finding our Tadasanas. Big toes together, little gap between the heels. Any back issues, hip issues, stepping the feet hip width apart. Settling the arms down by the side of the body, just closing the eyes down. Allowing the feet to root into the ground. Lifting through the kneecaps, inner thighs draw together. Lengthen into the spine, chest rises. Crown of the head reaches tall, slight draw back of the chin. Let's get that neck long. Bringing ourselves to the breath, inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out through the nose. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhaling. Exhale to blink the eyes open. As you inhale, sweep the arms, take them up overhead. Breathing out, hinging forwards from the hips, bend the knees as much as you need, let the hands come to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, either fingertips to the floor or hands to the shins. As you exhale, hands to the ground, stepping the feet into high planks. Knees come down, then chest and chin, elbows hug to the body. Slide onto the belly, just peel the chest, baby cobra, little back extension. On an exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips up and back into downward facing dogs, holding there. Breathing in, looking up, stepping the feet all the way through to the front. Exhale to fold over the legs. Inhale, bringing the body up, reach the arms high. Exhale, hands through to heart. Inhaling, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the ground, head to knees. Inhale to lengthen the body. Exhale, stepping or floating your way back, working either knees, chest, chins, or chaturanga, high plank to low plank. Coming onto the tops of the feet, send the chest forwards, upward facing dogs. Exhale to work the hips up and back, downward facing dogs. Changing it up here as you breathe in, ripple forwards into high plank position. As you exhale, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale to lift the right leg high, work the left heel down. On your next breath in, ripple forwards, high plank. Bring in right knee to right elbow. Exhale to sweep it up and back. One more like that, coming forwards into that plank position, right knee to right elbow. Sending the body up and back, releasing that right leg down. Inhale, left leg goes high, three-legged downward facing dogs. Keep that leg lifted as we ripple forwards, left knee to left elbow. Exhale to sweep it up and back. Inhaling, left knee to left elbow. Exhale to sweep it up and back, Releasing that left foot to the ground. Inhaling, looking up, stepping or float your way forwards. Exhale to fold. Inhale, bring the body up, reach the arms high. Exhale, hands through heart. Inhaling, arms lift. Exhale to forward fold, hands to the ground, head to knees. Inhale, lengthen, lift the heart. Exhale, step or float your way back. Chaturangas or knees, chest, chins. Upward facing dog on the inhale. Exhale, working back, downward facing dog. On an inhale, right leg lifts high, three-legged downward facing dog. Step that right foot to the outside of the right hand. Come up onto the fingertips, send the chest forwards. Kick that left heel away. Plant the hands into the ground, sweep that right leg back up. One more time like that, coming forward, stepping the right foot to the outside of the hand. Lift through the chest, keep the left heel away. Exhale, hands to the ground, sweep that right leg up and back. Releasing that right foot to the floor. Inhale, left leg goes high, three-legged downward facing dog. Stepping left foot to outside of left hand, lift onto the fingertips, send the chest forwards. Plant the hands down, let that left leg come up and back. One more time, stepping forwards, lift up onto the fingertips, send the chest forwards. Plant the hands into the ground, sweep that leg up and back. Release that left foot down. Breathing in, looking up, stepping or floating your way forwards. Exhale to fold. Inhale, bringing the body up, reaching the arms high. Exhale, hands through to heart. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, taking that forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, lift the heart this time. Exhale, right foot back, knee to the ground. Come into low lunge, bring the body up, send the right hip forwards and down. Left hand around the right wrist, find a little bit more length through the right side of the body. As you exhale, take a slight side stretch towards the left. Keep pressing, sending that right hip forwards and down. One more time here. As you inhale, bringing the body up. Release the hands, right hand down to the inside of your left foot. As you breathe in, sweeping the left arm up towards the ceiling. Maybe tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee, making this a little bit stronger. Keep working those hips down. One more breath here. As you exhale, left hand to the floor, step that left foot through to plank. Again, knees, chest, chins or chaturanga. Upward facing dog, lift the heart forwards. Exhale back, downward facing dogs. Nice little click there. One more here. As you inhale, looking forward, stepping the right foot through, drop the left knee to the ground, low lunge. Send that left hip forwards, right hand around the left wrist, inhale to lengthen. Exhale, take a side stretch. So leaning over towards that front leg. Using your inhale, bringing the body up. Send the left hand to the ground on the inside of the right foot. Reach in your right arm high. Lefts and rights today are not happening. Tuck in maybe the back toes, lifting the back knee off the floor, finding a little bit of a deeper stretch. Exhale, right hand to the floor, step the left foot to meet the right. Lengthen into the body halfway. Exhale to take a fold. Inhale, bringing the body up, arms lift overhead. And exhale, releasing the hands down. Okay. Hopefully everyone's a little bit warmer. Got a nice sweat going on. So from where you are, we're going to take the feet. I take mine about as wide as my mat. I'm going to face you. We're going to come down into a low yogi squat, so into Malasana. So when you're ready, bringing the bums down. Elbows to the inside of the thighs. Hands into prayer. As I say, your feet might be narrower. They might be able to turn forwards. Think about trying to send the weight towards the outer edges of the feet, really pressing those knees away. And then we're looking to find as much length into the back of the body as you can, lifting the chest. If you want to have a little bit of movement around here, it's quite nice just to move around. A little wiggle from side to side. Especially if you're going to be sat down a lot today, it's just nice to give the hips a little bit of time just to open out. Taking one more breath here. As you exhale, releasing the hands, lift the hips, walk the feet slightly in towards each other. So feet hip width apart, lengthen into the body halfway. As you exhale, step the right foot back, high lunge, bring the body up, reaching the arms overhead. Send those arms nice and tall, try and sink a little bit deeper into that front knee. Interlacing the hands behind the back. Lift through the chest, so pull the hands away as you breathe in. As you breathe out, coming down into humble warrior. Body comes down the inside of that left leg. Sending the arms up. Taking 2 more breaths here. We're going to take it into that easy twist. So as you exhale, releasing the right hand to the ground. Inhale to send the left arm towards the sky, opening out. Now it might be you stay there, you might want to start to turn your left toes towards the left side. Come onto the outer edge of that right foot. Maybe even start to drop the hips down. Keep the chest lifted as you send the left hand towards the right foot. Opening out. Maybe come onto the outer edge of that front foot if that feels okay. We're going to take this into our warrior two. So as you breathe in, plant that front foot to the ground, bring the body up, windmill open, a little bit more gracefully than that. Left arm forward, right arm back. Inner thighs gently pulling away from one another. Think about sending that front knee forward a little bit more. One more breath here. Taking this into half moon. 2 options. If you're quite new to half moon, start by moving your back foot in a little bit more. Send the left hand to the ground in front of your left foot. Then start to lift your right leg up. We're flexing into that right foot, pressing it out, opening into the chest. If you want to come into a more graceful float up, on your inhale, you're going to reach forwards, float that right leg away from the ground. Maybe don't even place the left fingers down. Kicking out through that right leg, opening into the chest. One more breath here. As you exhale, releasing the hands to the ground, step float, make your way back. Coming through chaturanga, upward facing dog. Exhale back, downward facing dogs. Taking a couple of moments in your downward facing dogs. Breathing in, looking up, stepping or float your way forwards. Exhale, fold the body over the legs. Inhale, bringing the body up, reaching the arms high. Exhale, hands through to heart. Again, we're going to come into that Malasana, that low yogi squat. So sending the feet out wide, starting to bring the bums down, elbows to the inside of the knees, lifting through the heart. Again, if you want a little bit of movement around, if your heels lift off the floor, don't worry about it too much today. You can sometimes work a little bit deeper into your squats by rolling a mat or a towel up and putting it underneath the heels, just allowing them to start to release down. Taking 2 more breaths, maybe lifting the chest up a little bit taller, maybe pressing the thighs away. taking the hands to the ground. I'm going to give you an option here. If you want to come straight back to downward facing dogs, you can do. Otherwise, we're going to roll through crow pose. So bringing the toes, the feet into the hip width apart, hands planting to the floor. Bend the elbows, create a shelf. Knees are going to go as high up on the backs of the arms as you can. Press the knees into the arms, dig the fingertips in, start to lean the body forwards. Now if you're working to your crow, you might just start to find a bit of a balance point, maybe taking one foot off, dropping it down, maybe bringing the other foot off. If you can, you're going to try and bring both feet off, maybe start to draw the heels towards the bum. Lower bellies are engaged. Make sure you're lifting nice and tall. One more breath here. Step float, make your way back through to your downward facing dogs. On an in-breath, stepping the right foot forwards, come into your high lunge, bringing the body up, reaching the arms tall. Think hips square towards the front, right hip back, left hip forwards. Interlacing the hands behind the back. Opposite thumb tries to go on top this time, just to make the grip a little bit more awkward. Lift through the chest, pull the hands away as you breathe in. Breathing out, taking a forward fold, coming down the inside of your right thigh. Humble warrior. Taking one more breath here, maybe letting the body relax a little bit deeper. Left hand releases down on the inside of that right foot. Right arm reaches high, easy twist. Again, it might be you stay there. You might start to turn your right toes towards the right side. Come onto the outside edge of that back foot. Maybe drop the hips. Start to reach your right arm towards that left foot. Maybe come onto the outside edge of the front foot. Opening out. Taking this into warrior two. Breathing in. Bringing the body all the way up. Open the body out. Gaze towards middle finger, that right hand. We're going to take this into that half moon. So again, you're working into it, right hand to the floor, then lift the left leg up. If you want to work into your float, lean forwards, start to let that left leg come up, open and out. Maybe don't let the right fingertips come to the floor. If you need the floor, it's there. Press that left heel away. Really nice. Exhale, both hands to the ground. Step float, make your way back. Vinyasa. Upward facing dogs. Exhale back into downward facing dogs. Taking this into our pigeon on the right side, so bringing right knee behind the right wrist, shin cuts across, left leg slides away. Hands walking up towards the hips, try and square the hips off. So we're bringing the left hip forward, slightly right hip back. Find that space as you inhale, on an exhale, start to let the body fold. Maybe coming down to the hands, forearms. You might be able to take the whole body down. Try and stay active in this pose. So think front, bottom rib cage up and over that front shin as much as you can, so creating that length. We'll take 2 more breaths here, just slowing it down. Using your inhale, gently starting to walk the body up. Bringing the hands towards the hips, lifting out nice and tall. It might be you stay here. If you want to work into a bit more of a quad stretch into that left leg, maybe bending up that left knee, pulling the foot in. If it feels available, you could reach around, grab the left hand to the left foot, gently ease it through. If it's available and you've got any further, you could take the foot to the inside of the elbow. Maybe you're working on your balance. If you've got full mermaid, absolutely go off into it. Go into your bind. If you're working more to balance, think about squaring the shoulders off as much as you can. Maybe start to float that right hand away. You might want to reach it forward. You might even start to lift it up, but really lift it out through the body. Keep pressing down through that right shin. One more breath here. Slowly releasing. Don't let that foot slingshot back. Hands to the ground, tucking the toe, and then lifting the legs. Lifting the legs, lifting the hips. Up and back. Just have a little pedal out. This is where one of my feet normally looks like it's dead and the other one's still alive. Have a little movement around just to get the blood flowing back down to that right foot. We'll go for the second side, so left knee behind the left wrist, shin cuts across the body. Sliding that right leg back behind. Walking the hands up towards the hips, opening out. Again, when you're ready, starting to bring the body forwards. Hands, forearms. You might again be able to bring the body down. As always, I bang on about this, but your body might feel completely different one day to the next. Last week I felt quite flexible. This week, at the moment, not so much. So just work with wherever your body's at today and it will just ease into it. We'll take 2 more breaths. See if you can actively release out into that left hip a little bit more. And then when you're ready, walking the hands back in. You might well again stay here, this is good for you. You might want to bend up into that right knee, bringing the foot in, maybe reaching around. If you've got your binds, right leg is tight today. Again, if it's available, foot to the inside of the elbow, lifting through. And again, if you want to work to a balance, think about really opening out, lifting up, pressing through that left shin, maybe reaching left arm forwards. It might start to come up. Without slingshotting that right foot down, slowly releasing it. Bringing the hands down, tucking the right toes under, sending ourselves back up. Downward facing dogs. We're going to attempt to work our way to our Navasanas, our boat pose, so balancing on the sit bones. If, like me, you're still working on your jump throughs, we're going to attempt it. If you can jump straight through and come to balance, great, off you go. If you want to just bring the knees down, bring yourself onto the bum and work to balance from there, great. If you're working with me, we're going to bend the knees, send the hips high, looking forwards, step float. Bring your way down as gracefully as possible. Bums to the floor. I end up laughing to myself at this. Find that balance on the sit bones. You might have the hands behind the thighs, lifting through the chest. You might have the arms alongside, opening out. If you've got the full variation, legs can go straight, arms can go straight up. But we're looking to maintain that length through the back, which is why I don't take my arms up. Just holding here, breathing, smiling. 2 more breaths. Slowly start to draw the feet in towards each other, have the soles coming together. Let the backs of the feet come to the ground, coming into Baddha Konasana. Maybe you're holding onto the feet, gently taking a fold. If you're working into this, hands as always behind the back and just work lengthening through, pressing the knees away. So again, it's just wherever your body's at this morning. Something doesn't feel good today, just back it off. Find a different way to approach it. Gently start to bring the body back up. Hold on to the outside edges of the knees, gently bring the knees in towards each other. We're going to make our way down onto backs. So just slowly releasing the bodies down, hugging the knees in, just giving yourself that gentle rock on the back. Bring in knees stacked up over the hips. Go into that bind again, so right leg up and over left. If it's available, binding the foot around the back of the calf. We're going to let the knees drop down over towards the left hand side. Send the right arm out to the side. Just work in with a nice twist through the spine. If it feels good, you can close the eyes down. If you want to keep them open, just try and soften them. So finding just a point and just allowing yourself to focus onto that point. You're letting everything else blur around the edges. Using an inhale, bringing the knees up to center. Unravel, then re-ravel. So left thigh up and over right. Maybe binding the foot around the back of the calf. We're coming into that twist, sending the knees towards the right hand side. Making sure that left shoulder gets nice and heavy. Gently lifting the knees back up to center. Unravel the legs out. Coming to find that Supta Baddha Konasana. So finishing how we started. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. Left hand over the heart, right hand over the stomach. Necks are long, so just have that little tuck down of the chin. Close the eyes down. You want to stay here a little bit longer, then just stay where you are. Make your way out of this whenever you're ready. Otherwise, just starting to find that little bit more space in the body. Breathe a little bit deeper. Start to send the arms up and overhead. Let the legs come all the way down, stretching from fingertips right down to tips of toes. Drawing the knees towards you, hugging them in. Give yourself a little gentle rock on the back. Whenever you're ready, right arm releases up and overhead, and just allow yourself to rest over on your right hand side. Pressing the left hand into the ground, making your way up to a seated position. Maybe you'll find the hands in a prayer at heart center, or resting the hands over the knees. Bowing the chin towards the chest. Just bowing in gratitude for our bodies and for our practice. Taking a deep breath in. Open the mouth, let it go. Namaste.